everybody, welcome to the makeup chair. So today we're doing kind of a everyday look, but I'm also going to be talking step by step about exactly what to do when you're doing a full face of makeup. Now you can leave any steps out if you want to, but this is kind of for beginners. We're actually going to start off by talking about cleansing the skin, because you really want to make sure that your skin is cleansed and clean, and you also want to make sure that your hands are super clean. So in the morning when I wake up, I would first of all take some cleanser, like a mild cleanser. I have combination skin, so you want to make sure that it is for your skin type. But in the morning, just keep it really simple. Just a quick wipe over the face with a cleanser will do wonders for you. So next you want to move on, and you want to let your skin dry naturally, and you want to move on to your moisturizer. Now the moisturizer I use is Nivea. This is Nivea moisturizer. It's for normal to combination skin. So try and find a moisturizer that's gonna kind of match your skin type. You know, that's actually made for your skin type over the face. And then you just want to leave that in, like sink into the skin for about 10 minutes or so, and then your skin should be ready. Now the next step is an optional step. It's slightly for people who have older skin, or for people who have blemished skin, dry skin. But I would definitely say that make sure that you're at least 20, 19 or 20 before you start using a primer. This is Gosh primer. This is absolutely my favorite primer. You use it very small amounts. It lasts a really long time, but it is €18. That's the only thing. We used to use a tiny pea size amount, spread it all over the face, and then just allow that kind of sink in just for a few minutes. It doesn't really have to sink in too much, but just by applying it really softly into the skin, and then just give it a few minutes to kind of dry and adapt to your natural skin temperature and stuff like that, because usually this is a little bit cold. So just by letting it like melt basically into your skin, and that'll actually help your foundation and your concealer to work a little bit better. It'll kind of stick to your skin better, and you can use a little bit less, so it's actually making it kind of more concentrated kind of texture to it. So I really love Gosh primer. Now if you don't want to try the Gosh primer because it's a little bit too expensive for you, you can also try the e.l.f. primer. I'll put a link in the box below, because they're pretty similar in the way that they're kind of they adapt to the skin and stuff. Then we're going to move on to foundation. Whatever type of foundation that you like for your skin is fine. If you have slightly more blemished skin, you might want to try a slightly kind of more coverage, stronger coverage foundation. Foundation that I really find is good for coverage is the Lasting Finish by Rimmel. It's kind of a thicker consistency, but it's kind of more concentrated, so you don't have to use as much. And then I have my Healthy Mix one, which is one that I use all the time. If you're using your fingertips, kind of blend over the face in kind of circular motions, kind of making sure you go right up to the hairline, right down to the jawline, maybe a little bit down the neck as well, just to make sure it blends in with the rest of your body. Now if you're using a brush, you want to make sure that you use kind of short strokes and make sure you blend right up to the hairline again. So, you know, it doesn't really matter, you kind of get the same effect, but then after I've used my brush, if I've used my brush to apply my foundation, I make sure I go over with my fingertips and kind of make sure it's completely blended in. Now we're going to move on to concealing. Now if you are using a mineral concealer, it's used in a different way. It's usually used with a little brush or something like that. Or if you are using kind of the cream based ones, you're usually using your ring finger just to warm it up that way, and then you're applying it. But if you're using a stick one like me, you're going to warm it up in the back of your hand. So just rub it over your hand, and it'll just warm it up and bring it to kind of skin temperature, and it's going to make it easier for you to kind of blend into the skin. So then take your ring finger, dab it around the eyes or any blemishes that you might have, and just make sure that either if you're using a brush or something, that you blend with your fingertips afterwards. It's just going to make it easier, and always use your ring finger because it's the lightest touch, and you're going to really be able to get right in there into the corners and make sure it's completely blended away. And also by looking up, you get right underneath here as well, and it stops kind of the creasing that we naturally have underneath our eyes. So if you look up, it's just going to kind of pull the skin, because you're looking up, it's just going to pull the skin, so you can actually just get really kind of deep in there and make sure that you're covering up any type of under eye redness or kind of bruising, whatever. Okay, now we're going to move on to your powders. Now if you're using a cream blush or a bronzer that is slightly creamier or whatever, you want to use this now, because after you've applied and sealed your makeup with your translucent powder, then you're not going to be able to go back in and use a liquid highlighter or a liquid bronzer or blush, because it actually is just going to mix with the powder that you've already applied, and it's actually going to go a little bit kind of patchy. And so if you're using anything that's liquid, you want to use liquid or cream, you want to use it now, and then you're going to move on to your powders. Take my powder, which is my Rimmel silky loose powder, and this is really, really nice. I absolutely love it, but I also like to use a little bit of the Art Deco one, the Art Deco Silk Loose Powder, because it's got a really nice consistency to it, and it has some light reflective properties which actually just really makes the skin kind of glow almost. Next we're going to move on to our little bit of highlighter. The highlighter that I use, which isn't so much a highlighter as it's actually a blush, but this is blusher balls, and these is by Primark, and this is what they look like. They're just these little balls. And we're going to apply this in a kind of unusual way. We're going to apply it by working down from the ear down across the cheek, and that just has this really nice kind of sheen to the face. It really works well on your cheekbones. It's going to hit the cheekbones in exactly the right place and just make it look really, really natural, but really, really pretty at the same time, and it's really, really nice for summertime. We're going to move on to our bronzer. The bronzer that I use is an Art Deco bronzer, which you can buy in Debenhams, but this is what it looks like. It's like I get the tester ones, but you can just buy any type of bronzer that's probably a little bit matte. They work a little bit better when you're using them as a kind of a contouring color if they don't have any shimmer in them. I have a square face, so I'm going to apply it to the bottom of my face, the top of my forehead just to shorten it, the sides just to make sure that my face is kind of thin, and it's going to stop that squareness that I actually have on my face. So if you guys want to know how to do it for your face type, there is a little link below, or you can check the bubble here to see how to do it for your own face shape. Now we're going to move on to blush. You want to use whatever type of blush is going to suit your complexion. If you're slightly cooler, you want to use a kind of a pinky tone. If you're slightly warmer, you want to use a kind of peachy tone. You want to apply this onto the apple of the cheek and kind of work upwards. Make sure that you really, really blend. That's why it's nice to have like a nice big brush, nice fluffy big brush, because you're going to get a really natural kind of look, as opposed to just applying the blusher onto your cheeks and then it doesn't look very much blended and everybody's going to know that it's just a lot of blush on your face. Just do a very light amount and gradually build it up rather than adding too much, and that goes for all of them. And keep checking in natural light. That's probably the best thing. If you look good in natural light, then you're going to look good in every light. Now we're going to move on to the eyebrows. Now whatever type of eyebrows you have, whether they're slightly dense or slightly thicker, or you need to fill them in and stuff, the best tool is to have something that has a little kind of angled brush like this, or it has this kind of comb at the bottom, which is kind of like a mascara wand. I would say to do it after you've done your foundation, just to make sure that there's no foundation or powder or anything left on the eyebrows. And so you just want to wipe over the eyebrows, just make sure there's nothing there. Now if you're filling them in, you can either take a dull eyeshadow that's in a kind of brownie color that's going to match your kind of you know, your natural kind of shade, or you can take a pencil really, really gently in kind of short strokes. That's just going to fill them in but make them look really, really natural at the same time. Now if you want to make sure that they stay in place, take a little bit of Vaseline, warm it up in the back of your hand and apply a little bit onto the eyebrows. Then you're going to take your mascara wand, the clean mascara wand, or you can either take clear mascara as well. Just brush the little eyebrows into place, and they're going to stay there all day because that little bit of Vaseline is just going to help them to stay in place. You could also use hair gel. Now for the eyes, is just keep it really, really simple. Because this is a day look, we don't want to go too extreme. So all I've done is I've taken a really nice light kind of skin color. So whatever type of skin color that you have, a shade that's pretty close to it but might have a little bit lighter than your natural shade. Take a little bit of it, apply it to the inner part of the eye, and then blend across the eyelid. That's just going to add a little bit of brightness to the eye and just kind of make them kind of a focus without being too harsh or anything like that. Now you're going to take your mascara, whatever type of mascara that you like to use, it's totally fine. I like to use a black mascara which has a comb through it. If I want to go for a really natural look, I'll just comb through the lashes, making sure there's no clumps or anything. You can take a little bit of liner, whatever type of liner that you like, brown liner, black liner, kind of bluey liner, whatever type, just put a little bit on your eyes. It just adds a little bit of definition. Now you can totally leave that out if you want, but that's just something that I really like to do. So I just add a little bit around the eye to the waterline. You can close your eyes and let the little pencil run across up and down, and that's just gonna get the upper part and the lower part, and it's really, really easy. It'll stop that whole kind of uncomfortable feeling whenever you have to do your waterline. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of lip gloss over that, just to keep it really, really simple, because it is a day look. So I really hope that you've enjoyed that, and if you have any questions, just ask me. It doesn't, you know, you can ask me absolutely anything and I will try and help you to the best that I can. Please watch out for my other videos. I'm qHey Katie, and thanks for watching.